My name is Sierra Flores, and I am the Everyday Educator. For today's tutorial, I want to teach you how I create my own custom Google Slides backgrounds. But then I also want to teach you how to protect your work from people. And so what I mean by that is forcing them to make a copy, because it's the worst whenever you spend hours creating the perfect Google Slides presentation and then you share it with one of your teaching friends and they delete your work, they change the fonts, they add in different information, and they just mess it up. So, to avoid that from happening, I'm going to teach you how to force others to make a copy of your work. So, if you are interested in learning those things and more, please stick around. Before I dive into the tutorial, I did want to show you, these are some examples of slides that I created. And so I want to show you two different ways that you can create them. One way is simple, the other one is very detailed. And so you'll choose what works best for you. And so for the way that I created these slides, I went and I decided to change the background. And so first you're going to go to background and choose, you can choose a color if you want to choose a color, but I like to choose an image because I like the patterns. And so I already did one that's a colorful background. So now I'm going to do black and white background, and let's see what I can find. All right, what can I find? There's a lot of interesting ones here. I'm really drawn to this one. So I'm going to insert that as my background. I love the way that looks, especially with the purple. That's awesome. So what I'm going to do now is just give this a title, math practice. And then of course I'm going to take this title and I want to center it. Maybe I want to make it a little bit bigger. Now, after I change my background, I change my slides around, I want to duplicate this. And so now, instead of having math practice, this new slide is going to be called reading practice. And for this one, I want to change it up. I want to have pink border instead. And so I'm going to go to click inside my box and click the border and make the border pink. All right. So now I'm going to duplicate this slide again. And now we're moving on to science. So let's say we're doing a science unit. Same thing. I'm going to click in here, change the color to green, and let's change the border color to green. And so as you can see, I've got my math practice, science practice, and my reading practice. And I can continue on and on like this, just copying, just pressing or right clicking and duplicating. That's the super quick, easy way to go in and get your slides, make your slides duplicated and have your own custom backgrounds. Now I will say these, the inside of these tables, the way that I edited those, I went to fill color and then I chose the color that I wanted, which was white. And then after that, I went to custom, and you see that that's how it's already white. I'm going to go to transparency and then click and drag over until I make this the level of transparent that I want it to be, and then just click OK. And so that's kind of what I did. And then after you do a few of these, you'll see at the bottom, these are your custom colors. And so you'll just click the color that you want it to be. And so that's just a quick example of how I did that. Now, if you want to move into the more complicated version, this is called the Edit Master. And so to go there, you will go to your slide, go down, down, down to the Edit Master. And in here, you'll see that I've kind of already played around with it a little to create my first slides. But I'm going to show you how I create my next slides. So I'm going to go now, and anything that I type in here, whether it's anything that I change, the font, the style, the size, the color, any of that, now will save and transfer over to my current slides presentation. So I really like the way this looks. but I want to change the font. I want to keep it all consistent and do shadows into light, and that's the font that I just chose for today. Background, let's change the background, and I want to get that same image. And so I'll insert that image, done. And I want to put a border around this. So I'm going to make it purple. Purple's my favorite color. And now let's drag this down a little bit. And maybe I want to make that just a little bit smaller. So that way you can tell that there's like a differentiation there between the colors. And now I'm going to make that border weight a little bit more. And I'm going to change the font color. Let's make this font color. Let's see what green looks like. Oh no, that's insane. We cannot do green. Let's just keep it like gray. How about that? Perfect. I love the way it looks. Moving on. If I want to continue changing that background to all of these slides, I can. But what I want to tell you is that it is not necessary for you to go in and edit every single one of these slides because there's so many different types. It is not necessary. It is only necessary for you to edit the slides that you actually use. And so for me, the slides that I use the most often are the title slide here. And then I also use the single, and then I also use the double. And so these are the only ones that I'm going to be editing today because those are the ones that I actually use. And so I'm going to go in, same deal, background, insert, and done. And then I'm going to go to, and if I want to change this font, which I do, I can change this font. And then this will save for all of my slides in the future. And so second level, I'll go ahead and change that as well. But beyond the second level and my bullet points, I don't really go beyond that because it goes all the way down to the seventh level. I don't really do that. So I'm only changing the things that I'm actually going to be using because I don't have time to change every single thing when I only need like 3 things. So I'll go in now and edit this last one, background, choose image, and I'm going to stick with that black and white background, insert, done. And so now you see my background changed. Shadows into light, and again, this is just the font that I'm using for today. I pick different fonts for different days, all based on my mood. If I want to make that border color, I can make this one green, for example, and let's put it, is 8 pretty thick? Yeah, 8's thick enough. Same thing here, border color, green, take it to 8, border color, take it to 8, and make it green. And so you see all these clicks that I'm doing. Yes, it's taking a long time in the very beginning. It is a lot of clicks, but you only have to do these clicks one time. And then after you do those clicks one time, you're not going to have to do them ever again because they're going to be set. And you can reuse this if you want, as many times as you want. All right, you get the gist. So now I am going to go up. I just saw this bothered me. I want to move it down some. That way it's in the center. All right, I'm going to reapply this to all of my sides. And I'm going to click the X. And I am all done. And so now if you look at my new slides presentation, everything kind of looks like, well, these 3 are the ones that were currently there. Remember how we just went and clicked duplicate? But if I want to add a new slide, remember, I only changed 3 slides. I changed this slide, this one, and this one, because these are the 3 primary slide types that I personally use. And so you can go ahead and do that, and that will take you exactly to where you need to be as far as creating those slides presentations. And now to make a copy, you'll click share, and from here you are going to change your link settings. So right now I have it set to anyone with the link, and you want to make sure it stays that way so people can access it. Now on this part, you choose if you want the people to be a viewer, commenter, or editor. I always click viewer because I don't want you messing with my stuff. Now, copy that link and open a new tab and paste. Look at the code at the end here. Copy all of that and you're going to erase it. Now, enter the word copy. Press enter and boom, there it is. They have to make a copy of this. Now, let me show you one more quick time. You are going to copy this exact link, and this is the link you are going to share with people. Watch how I paste this in. This is what people will see when you share that link with them. So now watch here, your people will click and then it's going to force them to make a copy and it will save automatically to their Google Drive.